In Delaware, there's still a ways to go before we know just how much damage has been done to the beaches. But today, we're learning more about the sand that was displaced and what the effects may be. Our Sussex County Bureau Chief, Evan Koslow, spoke with the experts today about how much of that sand has been washed out to sea.
Now, you don't need to be an expert to see that clearly a lot of sand has been eroded from this beach, and no place shows that more than Bethany Beach. That's because the high tide line here has been pushed back by 100 to 125 feet. And the question is, will that sand return to the beach?
I just worry about what the rest of the year is going to be like.
Meet Tony Pratt. When it comes to beaches and sand erosion, he's the go-to guy in Delaware. And Wednesday, he joined WBOC in a tour down the coast. We're starting here, just south of the Indian River Inlet Bridge, where he says the high tide line has been pushed back at least 100 feet.
In a normal summer day, you could walk on dry sand along the rocks, on this side of the rocks. You could walk right along the rocks and get to within about 40, 50 feet of that tower.
And now, it's a different story. We then came here to Bethany Beach. Pratt says this area, along with South Bethany, was hit the hardest. That's because it had far less dry beach to begin with, and so the result is more dune damage.
It's pretty significant, it's pretty dramatic. I think we have as much as a 6 to 8 foot vertical loss here, and maybe even as much as 10 feet.
Now, this broken ramp right here in Bethany Beach obviously shows how powerful the waves were during the storm, but it actually shows something else. If you come over here, you might be able to see that there's different colors here. That's because the sand was actually up to here before. That's about 6 feet tall that's been eroded away. But Pratt says there is a key distinction. Displaced does not mean disappeared. The sand has been pushed back to the sandbar, but he says much of it is likely to return in the next few weeks or months, depending on weather conditions. What's concerning, though, to Pratt is just how early in the season this erosion occurred.
So it's a wait and see. I keep my fingers crossed, but I don't like it when we see the pattern set up like we have set over the last few weeks.
As to the cost, Pratt does say that they will need to do replenishment on these Delaware beaches. However, he says it's not necessarily more than they already had planned. Both the Rehoboth area and the Bethany area are on 3-year cycles of replenishing the beach. In fact, Rehoboth is up next in the spring of this year, and the Bethany area is up in the spring of 2017. Reporting here in Sussex County, I'm Evan Koslow, WBOC News in Bethany Beach.